Yeah. I'm kind of curious, like, you know, for you now as you're taking on more of a coaching role, like with backup, you know, like, do you ever have like students come up like, oh, I want to fight, like, you know, never fought before, like, is there anything you tell them like what they have to do?
So I stay out of the coaching roles because I'm still professionally fighting and I'm in constant fight camps. Don't get me wrong, I help our fighters, but I don't have enough experience with the up and coming guys to see who's ready and who's not ready. So that Richard just takes care of all that. We've got quite a few coaches who will guide all these guys through and stuff, and I know they're all in good hands. Obviously, my coach Richard, he founded Bad Company in 1992, so the gym's been around like for that long. So he takes care of all that stuff. When I fully retire, I will get involved. Obviously, that now I'm a co-owner of the gym, I will get fully involved in all that. But at the minute, I just don't have time because fighting's a selfish sport. I ain't got time to be trying to help everyone in that gym. We've got a lot of members, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I help the fighters where I can, and obviously they help me. We all help each other, and as soon as I've had a fight, I'll go back to the gym and I'll start training all the fighters who've got fights coming up and stuff like that. But to get fully involved in everything else, it would be too much at the minute when I'm trying to fight, teach seminars, run my website, and all the rest of it, and help the fighters, and then still be an authority figure in the gym. Where if like I go in and the people are fucking around in the gym and stuff like that, I've still got to put my foot down and like say, right, behave. Do you know what I mean? It's all getting a bit too much to then go into beginners classes as well. And so when I fully retire, I'll get more involved with that and I'll help them come through. But at the minute, I just don't have time.
Do you normally when you meet somebody, can you tell if somebody's got it in them, the wits, to be able to be successful in that career?
Yeah, it's not so much the technique that you need to see straight away, because I see lots of technical guys come and go. It's that you can't teach that, and you'll see someone and I'll know, like if I spar with someone and I think they're getting just ready to fight. Sometimes what I'll do, because what the coaches used to do to me, is what happened to me in Thailand, I'll put it on them a little bit just to see how they react. And if they break straight away, you know they ain't got what it takes. But like, there's been a few in our gym where they've like just bit down on the gum shield and got on with it. And although they were completely out of the depth, I've said to them afterwards, said, you've got something, you stick with it. And then these guys are now going on to like just turn pro now, and they are causing big problems in the pro scene and stuff. You can spot stuff like that a mile off, especially when the gym where we're from, and like I say, it's in a rough area. We get a lot of kids who come into the gym with that heart and stuff like that. And like you say, you can't teach that. If they're coming to the gym and they're just getting ready to fight, and they have the first fight and the technique's terrible, or the timing's off, or they're just not getting the technique down and stuff, you can teach all that. But if it gets rough and they show heart and they don't quit and they fight and fight and fight till the end, and even if they lose but they still keep pushing and they don't give up, you can't teach that.
Yeah. Do you think that comes from like a rough upcoming? Or what do you think?
Most of the kids in our gym who went on to be like world champions were all from the same rough area. There's an area in Leeds called LS9. I've mentioned it a few times on my interviews when I'm in on one championship and stuff like that. It's a renowned area it's a rough area, but there's a lot of hard kids from there, and all the champions from our gym. I think at one point when I were in my prime a few years ago, we had 8 world champions in our gym, all training together, all under one roof. And we had the UK number one at 57, so 126 pounds, 130 pounds, 135 pounds, 140 pounds, 147 and 154. We had the UK number one in all those weights. No gym in even Europe will have ever had anything like that. So I was blessed to have all these people. And out of all them 8 world champions, I think 6 of us were all from that LS9 area that I'm talking about. Which is, we've also got like Josh Warrington, who's a IBF World Boxing Champion from that area and stuff as well. So there are a lot of hard cases who come from there, yeah.
Do you feel, because you're an only child, right? Child, yeah. Do you feel that made you just that much more tougher? Because who did you look up to as growing up?
So my cousin Andy, he took me to the gym when I was 13. He's an only child as well, but he went on to become 5-time world champion.
Oh shit.
He was the one who took me to the gym for the first time. So I had him, I was with him like all the time, every day. Like my mum and his mum were sisters, and we used to spend a lot of time together even before Thai boxing. But then obviously when he dragged me down to the gym, then that were it. Then we were there together every single night, and we came up together and we trained together.
Where's he at now?
So everyone will know who Andy is. He's one of my main coaches. He's holding pads for me all the time on the videos. Yeah, He's a great pad man. He fights boxing now. He's signed with Misfits. He's fighting some boxing fights. But yeah, he had a great career. He was 5-time world champion. He had about 70 fights. 70 pro fights, 5 times world champion. He fought some really big names. He were involved in some really crazy, tough wars. And he were renowned around the UK, around Europe for being one of the toughest fighters out there, yeah.
Yeah, I remember looking up at like his history and like how he had that rivalry thing in training.
Yeah, but he beat Damien comfortably 4 times. No, 3. They fought 4 times and he beat Damien 3 times out of 4. And Damien beat him once. But they had some really, really good fights. But Andy just always had Damien's number, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like, I mean, speaking of pad holding, like, I mean, obviously you're like infamous for your awesome pad work. So like for you, like, you know, like we have students, you know, all the time, especially brand new students, right, who are always like, like they're always holding their breath in, they're like holding the breath, and then they kick, and then they like breathe out. It's like you gotta breathe. Man.
Yeah.
So like, I think you were one of the fighters I studied when I was first starting. I was like, how do I not like just like completely gas out like in one pad round? So like, did you like discover like did you study fighters, or like, did you just kind of discover your breathing technique on your own?
No, I just did it on my own. I train with maximum intensity in anything I do, whether that's my conditioning training, whether it's my pad work, whether it's I don't run anymore, but whether it was younger when I was running, I'd always run at the fastest pace I could, faster than all the others. So yeah, I always like to train with that level of intensity, and if I wanted to train with that level of intensity, like, you know how hard it is hitting pads. People think when they see me hitting pads like that for the 20 seconds I put on Instagram, that's it. I hit pads like that for the full duration, and I'd go until I'm gassed, because I like to push myself to as much as you can, and if I can keep that up for 7 or 8 rounds on the pads, I know when I come to fight, I'm not going to gas. If you not training with that level of intensity, I think it's just pointless in doing it. I see people in the kicking pads, and like kicking pads are like 50%, and I'm like, well, why are you even bothering? Fucking kick it. If you're going to kick it, you know what I mean? And the thing is, in that, when you're doing it that hard and that fast, and you're going to be exhausted when you fight. Exhausted. There's nothing that can prepare you for how tired you will be during a fight.
Yeah.
So make yourself that tired in the gym. Get out of your comfort zone. Push yourself as much as you can. And when you're just first starting out and you're still learning your technique and your balance and all the rest of it, you can't do that then, because if you start just trying to whack pads like that, or you're going to lose balance, lose form, lose positioning. But once you're at a level where you've got all that locked down, then you need to start doing stuff like that. You need to, pad work should be like a fight. When I'm like doing that, I'm like bam, 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 and then Andy will kick me back, he'll throw something at me, he'll try and catch me out, and he'll be hitting me with pads, he'll be whacking me at the body and trying to kick me back, and he'll make it like a fight. We don't show any of that on Instagram, no. It's only like a little 20-second clip that I put on there. I don't put out. If people watch the full pad work, they'll be surprised at how rough it is. You know what I mean? But that's how it should be. It should be fight specific, I think.
For sure. So like, like you. I mean, obviously you and Andy have a great chemistry as your pad holder, right? So like, you know, what do you like makes like a good paddle? Is it just like being able to match that intensity, or is there more to it? Like,
of course. It got to me more to it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we don't. People will just see these little 20-second clips that go up on Instagram. Like, obviously, there's a lot of game planning and stuff like that to go on there. When I do pads with my other coach, Richard, he's totally different to Andy. We do more like freestyle pads. Nothing will get called out, and I'll just go and he'll just catch what I'm doing and stuff like that, and it'll just be me basically doing whatever I want, but with him implementing very subtle little things for the game plan that we've got, which I don't even know that's happening. And then I'll just start naturally doing those things and sparring, because he's not even telling me what he's doing. And he's just making me subtly have to react to what he's doing. And I don't realise I'm doing it until I start sparring, and I'll start doing it naturally. And then he'll be like, see how we just subtly implement it. That's a proper coach. You know what I mean?
That's really cool.
That's that. And obviously Richard's got so much experience, so I'm blessed to have not only like him and Andy as my coaches, and then I'm blessed to have all the elite fighters we've got around us as well. Because that Richards, when I first joined, when I was 13 years old, when I first joined Pad Company, when I walked through the door, the first thing I saw was one of the British or European champions hitting the pads. And that were in like 1998. So even then he already had British and European champions, do you know what I mean? And to this day, still be producing new world champions and new elite fighters. And we've got a serious amount of juniors who are coming up as well. We've got a really good junior squad who are fighting every week, winning titles every week. And then even Richard and Lisa's, his wife, even their sons have won nearly every junior and every amateur world championship you can think of. They've won it. They're now pro. The youngest has just fought on our show, Hitman Fight League, and got signed to one championship. He's 18. You know what I mean? He's 18.
That's crazy.
The oldest is 21. He's fighting for a professional WMO European title on our next show. So you know, we're still producing this level of fighter, and that's a testament just to how good Richard is as a coach.